Okay.
I apologize for that.
Can't control it.
Not that
Yeah.
It's just a chance.
finished with the test, we can give you some time at 7:20. So. Thanks, Rich.
Well, I read.
Read 9 last week.
Let's see.
Like all these questions for chapter 8, we actually checked them.
Is that why you guys want spoon fishing?
That's always confusing.
Oh, 3 more minutes. I'm not seeing it. Any thoughts?
You checked Gary Martin folder.
Since
Talking about you and, you see that meeting. We all have it on.
Doesn't matter.
Just got it fresh.
So try to send it to this one. Is it? So you get a 30-second break. So 30 more seconds test. So Shoko, you can stop and you can finish later. Is this? You can stop, finish later. Okay, so I'll get these two and we'll start later.
Catch it.
So, congratulations everybody, test 2 is done. And, so shake fingers out, relax, just had a test. Okay, we'll start now, so could I get people to join in? D'Souza, are you ready? Okay. And Liano, everybody ready? Okay, I want to be sure that this is clearly understood, so I'll say so right now. The assignment for Wednesday is our section in the book on e-commerce. Now that covers 2 chapters, chapters 10 and 11. So they are 1 unit, so we'll assign those. Chapter 10 and 11 are for Wednesday, and please prepare 5 questions from each chapter. 5 questions from each chapter. So the Access projects were very, very successful. So you had a weekend of no projects. So now, tonight, it's time for us to get started on our next project in this course. So in this next project, we will turn you into computer programmers. You will actually write a computer program. Actually, two of them. So you can have your choice. Jeff, you're with us.
Yeah, I'm
Would you like to write your program in zeros and ones, Jeff, machine language?
I'd rather not.
Anybody go for that, zeros and ones? Well, then we can give you a standard programming language, which you can write your program in, and those standard programming language come with a translator, which will translate your code into zeros and ones. So I assume we all want to go down that road. So let's name 5 or 6 standard programming languages. Jordan G, can you name one?
You like picking on me, huh?
That's not a programming
I didn't think so
language.
either.
Jeff, you?
Cobalt.
Cobalt, okay. And Jordan G, can you name another one?
I can't.
Sure, okay. Gene, another.
Java?
Java. Jordan H. C. Shoko, can you name another programming language? Oh, yeah, no, another one. Mike, you know one.
Not today.
No, it's not a programming language either. Sierra,
Maybe HTML.
HTML is,
Is that borderline?
it's borderline, so
Okay.
given
I'll
what
take it.
we're scrounging up against the wall here, we'll take it. So
Oh,
anybody wanna name another one? Jeff?
C hashtag.
CPAM.
That's borderline also. Kazuza, name a programming language. That's not one. Anybody?
Python.
Oh, no, huh?
Python.
Python, the up and coming, then it's a new ruler. Python, head and shoulders above everybody else. Fortran? Okay, now, you get your choice to choose which one you wanna write your program in, as long as you don't choose any of those.
Oh,
Because, well, you can choose any of those if you want to, but the trouble is that those translating programs cost money. If you're willing to pay for it, please feel free to use those language. But I can turn you on to a translating program that comes in under budget, zero money, it's free.
English.
That's not that far along yet. So this programming language that is free is called BASIC.
Oh, man.
Beginners all something, introductory something, okay? BASIC, basic. It's a very basic language, and it's not too hard to learn, and we're going to learn it. Now, some small part of it. Now, this basic language that we're going to learn, the first thing you have to do is you have to learn the rules of using the language. Just as any language, such as English, Japanese, binary code, any other language you want to learn, there are 2 types of rules. First, there is a certain list of valid words in the vocabulary. You can't boom, zoom, sap, zoom, boom, say sounds or words that are not actual words in the vocabulary list, agreed? You're restricted to using words that are recognizable words in the language. And the language BASIC has some set of 90 or 100 recognizable words, words it recognizes, like if, then, while, print, input, and others that you could guess. These are words that it recognizes. So if you type these words, then you will not get what's called a bad vocabulary or a syntax error. Syntax means it's not in the dictionary. So you restrict yourself to using words that are in the basic dictionary, and you will get a list of those. The next thing to look, talk at for order is words right, wrong order. If you use the right words, but you use them in the wrong order, as I just did, then that's called what kind of an error? It's right, grammar. It's a grammatical error. You used the right words, but you didn't use them in the right order. And the same is true with the basic vocabulary. If you use the right words, but you don't use them in the right order, then you get slapped. It's a grammatical error. Now, both of these types of errors are discovered when you feed your written program into the translator. Now, the translator is often called compiler because it compiles a file of zeros and ones. So we'll use those words interchangeably. Actually, we'll mostly use the word compiler. So you will get beeped by the compiler that it is not able to create a valid file of zeros and ones because you've made syntactical errors, either vocabulary or grammar, that it cannot recognize, therefore it cannot interpret them, it cannot translate them into zeros and ones. So it will, then you have to find where you broke one of the rules. So you go through all your lines of code, you find the one that you broke the rule on, you fix the rule, you put it back, and you find you broke another rule. So you fix that, you put it back, and as time goes by, you age, you have children, and eventually you fix all of your syntax errors. And you get what's called a clean compile. It means that you were able to produce an object or output deck of zeros and ones that the machine will recognize. And that's an exciting moment. Once you have this output deck, which is called an object deck, because it's the object of the compilation, your written basic code is called a source deck, because it's the source of the object deck. It's the source of the compilation. So when you have an actual clean or good source file, then the compiler will obediently translate it into a strings of zeros and ones. Then your job is to bring up your operating system, let's name Windows for example, and tell Windows the location of your file for zeros and ones. And you ask Windows to run it for you. So Windows immediately runs it for you, and if you do something that is unacceptable to the operating system, for example, you add two numbers and you move the result to storage, only you move it to somebody else's storage. You move it to storage that belongs to some other running program. It wasn't assigned to you. So that's a protection fault, and Windows will stop your program right there. So you have to fix that as well. So when you get the program to actually finish running successfully, then you have to locate your output file, because hopefully your program produces something and you saved it as a file. So you hunt through the directories and find your output file, and you look at it and you see if it produced the output that you expected. If it didn't, then there's an error in your program, a logical error. So once again, you go through your source code and you find the logical error, you fix it, then you go through the new round of syntax errors, you get a clean compile, you tell Windows to run it, you go through the new round of protection errors, and you get an output file. And here you are switching back and forth between 5 different utility programs. First, you need a word editor to type in your basic program, agreed? Like Notebook, or Microsoft Word, or OpenOffice. So you type in your basic program, and that has to be fed into the basic compiler. So you close down Microsoft Word, and you pass the file into the compiler. The compiler finds syntax errors, so you open up the MS Word file again, and you look for syntax errors. And back and forth between all these programs, then you bring in Windows, then you look for your output file. Where there's a buck to be made, there will be somebody ready to make it. It was recognized that if some company could create an IDE, a single umbrella program that did the following 5 things for you. First, it gave you a skimpy little input processor editing file, similar to Notepad. It asks you to type your code. Then without changing hats at all, it runs your code through the compiler. Any errors that it finds, it will highlight in blue. This is where the syntax broke. Gives you right then a chance to fix it in the editor. And you work your way through all the code until you get no more blue. And you get the clean compile. Then it will itself ask Windows for a little section of memory to run your program in. It will run your program, and it will give you a little pop-up window which contains your output file. So you can see the output of your program at the same time. So this integrated development environment, for some reason it's called an IDE, has sold a lot of copies. Would you be willing to pay a few bucks for one program that did all those 5 things under one umbrella, or would you like to shuttle back and forth? How many would shell out a few dollars? Well, you certainly would. So that's why IDEs have been created for all the major programming languages. And nobody just shuttles back and forth between the, except masochistics, they still like to do it, between the various programs. So everybody works with an IDE. Now, Microsoft Office, some very powerful IDEs for the C programming language, for the Visual Basic programming language, and they are quite pricey. You can buy them. You can also buy IDEs for the basic programming language, or you can use the free one that I've discovered. Your choice. Anybody want to come on board, use the free one? Okay, but pay your own dollars, yen if you want to get your own. But those of you that have computers, this free IDE is located, well, first, it's put out by a company that calls themselves Just Basic. Just Basic. So their website is www.justbasic.com. Okay? Now you're going to have to believe, unless you can turn around and share a computer with one of these guys. So how many have found that website? www.justbasic.com. Smile if you found the website. You can stop smiling now. Gene, get it?
I don't have internet connection.
This is a no-frills website. It's put up by no-frills people, I imagine. So you just take notes if you're not online, and actually we'll probably go into the lab, give you a chance to, okay, same problem in the lab.
Alright, I'm there. Alright, I'm there.
You're there.
Yeah. I wasn't, on the internet because I didn't think you'd want us on the internet.
I'm sensitive, but that's a new one for me. So you're absolutely right, I don't want your internet line talking. So what's wrong with the rest of you guys? Just go in there and, never mind. Okay, so as you see at the URL up here, what I typed in was www.justbasic.
I have a question.
It'll be right there, and this is what comes up.
Nice.
That's because it was using Jurassic Park
And calm.
and poem. That's Mike's fault, he's talking to me.
Might be a comma up there also, so period.
Maybe.
So you have a comma instead of a period.
Could
be blind.
I know I should have rehearsed this.
Yeah.
Some fancy clothes.
Oh, now there's 2.
And so what did you guys do in class tonight? You, never mind.
Correct.
Okay, we're gonna. Mike, question?
Back on that homepage there, it says downloaded for Windows operating system. I have a Mac, is it? Download my computer.
You dropped the course.
EXE.
have no idea what it will do on a Mac.
It won't open, it's an EXE file.
Okay, now you can do what I have to do, which is what we do. Now, when I get here, and if you get here, you do the same thing. You click on download. And then it says, click to download. This is definitely a no-frills system. So it says, you have chosen to open, so I'm going to save the file even. And when I save the file, I'm going to open the containing folder. And I'm going to try to run the thing, because it's an EXE. So when I open it, then I get a message that I don't have privilege. So I've enlisted the help of Jordan H., who does have privilege on his computer, to run this file. And this is just a install file, and it will install the program Just Basic. Okay? And he has ascertained that he's done that, and I've seen him bring up the program on his computer. So what I did is I asked him to email me that file, because it's a standalone file. The actual Just Basic program. It's an old-fashioned standalone file, and once you get it on your computer, you can run it. But it hasn't seemed to have come through, so what we're going to ask him to do is to help all the class out by going into your Leo website, click on class list, and email that file to the whole class, including me. This is legal.
Oh.
Sorry, Jeff, it's legal. No, it's a disappointment for you. And I'm gonna continue to see if I receive it.
It's kind of big.
How big? Says 2 to 5 megabytes.
Yeah, I think
See if it'll send.
3.5.
Well, try it, see if it'll, I guess you can't email it then.
I think you only had trouble getting it because you can't alter the school computers, you can't install or uninstall programs, you don't have the admin key.
You guys an email though.
But,
You should be able to get this, it's just an executable file now, it's not an install file.
Every time I open it on my computer, it reinstalls and then runs too, though.
yeah, I mean, I'm running it right now.
Yeah, mine's up. But I'm on the UMUC network, so.
Can you guys try to email me this file for this address that I'm about to give you? This address that I'm about to give you. Or can one of you put that file on a thumb drive and put it in my hand?
No, that's a good idea. That's a brilliant idea. I don't have it from there.
Thank you.
Go that far.
That's absolutely brilliant. Genius.
Alright, that's enough.
Still
Now you just be
impressed.
blatant.
Still
You get 100% on your test.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
gosh.
obviously studied.
Anyway, try to email it just to see what's wrong with the email transaction. And I'll take the thumb drive. You can load almost any program you want to run on your thumb drive, you can run it right on your thumb drive. I think it's good.
It worked.
Okay.
It's on
first
the
file
desktop.
up there.
Yeah, it's already there and it won't run.
Oh, well, copy and
Yeah,
replace.
mine-
Shut down. Alright, so you guys cannot get a, you cannot get it to install a different file.
You just double click it, or does it do the same thing?
I'll try in a moment, but I'm not getting an email from anyone anyway, so.
Maybe try the password.
Alright. Jordan, would you like to try attempting connecting your computer to the smartphone?
Sure.
Okay.
Take your time.
Okay, so this is the mouse, there's nothing, you're gonna need this one and this one.
Yeah, that one's forever.
The VGA?
HDMI.
Does anyone have a good old fashioned VGA? Gene, yours is big enough to have a VGA. Where's that log that you had before, Sierra?
Oh, it's downstairs. I don't have the key, I was.
Gene, you have a VGA port?
Mm-mm. Guess we can't program.
It's VGA on both ends?
I don't even know what VGA is.
Yeah.
Hello, PGA.
Old Beach. Let's go to chapter 9.
Wait, we'll make one.
Yeah. How you make one real quick?
Yeah.
Solder a cable.
I got some pins in my car. We got some duct tape.
So for next class, just have this downloaded and installed on our computer.
Well, it's a little bit,
Complicated.
Yeah, it's a little difficult when you're not a Windows user.
Who has the administrative
Um,
password?
yeah, it's a little difficult, you're not a Windows user and we can't
Maybe.
send this file across to you. So I'm going to have to research that.
Go to the lab.
Hmm?
Go to the lab.
Well, you go to the lab, but I have to install it on the lab too.
No, we don't have that ability.
This is a recent problem. The last time I taught this course, 54 years ago, this was an installable file. It was a two-step process, and got away with it. I've still got it someplace on a hard drive, so I might be able to get away with it one more time. But what we're going to do is table this project, and I'm just going to describe to you what we're going to do in this project. First,
Sense for everybody.